I need to make sure people can hear it. No, not you. Can you check my screen with me? I just want to make sure they can hear. Oh, yeah, for 7 minutes. On Instagram. I can't go. What? Yeah. No, I don't. It's there. You can see them. I don't need to touch anything. And we're about to tell them they can eat, and then I'll do the welcome, and then we'll. You know, put the first food in the boat. And I need to check the train. Shouldn't, but we won't do it. Right over there with the rest of the put them over further. Maybe me. No. I didn't do. Yep. Yeah. So the one we have to change. Huh? Now you can go to welcome. So you're gonna go to welcome. Oops, welcome. And then see what I don't understand is where am I? You see, I don't see me up here. No, I'm not on the microphone. this. All right. Okay, so you see me? Okay, so now you should be able to do it. I think we figured it out. I think. Okay. Can you make sure you can? Can you make sure, just like three though? I don't want to put a lot in there. Can you just make sure that you have the chat open? Hi, everybody. We're going to be getting started in just a second. I'm just making sure everybody can hear me. Can you put it in the chat if you can hear me? You can hear it? It's low? Okay. Okay. All right, let me see. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yes, the live is the right place to be. Okay, perfect. Okay, everybody can hear me. All right, wonderful. Okay, good. So that means everybody's on the same page. Hallelujah. Man, this has been crazy. But we're going to do this and we're going to be on time because y'all know me. I love time. All right, so I am going to go ahead and welcome everybody and we'll get started. Oop. Sorry, guys. The string was a mess. Oop. Okay. All right, there you go. Okay, well, welcome, welcome. First of all, thank you all so much for taking the time to come in person. I know a lot of them are online, and I don't blame them either due to different states, different countries, or the snow. Um, and what I wanted to do, I wanted to ultimately do this book party because this was a particular book that we had talked about when you guys were here for the game plan workshop. And for many that know me, you are probably familiar with the fact that I published a lot of books. Um, and my internal goal was to publish 50 books, but I knew that getting to 50, I wouldn't be able to do unless I had the inspiration to carry me through all of these books. And so before I start writing anything, the first thing I get to is this going to make sense for people? And is this something that has worked for me? And if that answer is no, then that means I might not need to write that book. I'm gonna turn this echo off. Is this microphone on? They gotta be. Something's on. Um, Kata, can you turn the internal main audio down? That's what's echoing. You see it? To the right on the bottom? 1 second. Because I know this echo's gonna drive off. All right. Okay, can you just make sure everybody can still hear me in the chat? Let me know, Nathan. All right, cool. I think everybody can still hear me, and thank goodness there's no echo on the inside, because I felt like I was in a hole. Nobody got time to be in holes today. The whole part of this is to release some stuff, not to get caught in stuff, okay? So what I wanted to do too, for everybody that is here, you can go ahead and get you something to eat. I definitely welcome you to do that. If you guys want to get you a plate, you are more than welcome to. I'm gonna move this out your way. You can either do it now or you can do it after the presentation. Either way works for me. Online, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't get y'all no food, but I love y'all. And I pray y'all eating, okay? What time is it? Oh, yeah, it's 7 something. So, yeah, y'all might be hungry. So, next thing I want to talk about is gratitude. I think before we do, or being grateful, and thank you. And one of the things I learned about ultimately becoming and being grateful is you realize nothing you've accomplished alone. I mean, like if you're here, you see my children, and all of them had to deal with me ultimately saying, hey, give me a minute, give me a minute. And a minute turned to an hour, and an hour turned in tomorrow. I'm going to take you so and so. And then sometimes that turns into a weekend that's a little further away. And I know sometimes when we're writing our books, that is one of the biggest challenges is how am I going to balance my life and what I'm obligated to do with the desires I have. And I would say that even extends into having a business or doing something for you. A lot of us will feel guilty for doing something for ourselves because we're like, but what about everybody else? And sometimes that's the same reason why we don't have, but everybody else around us does. And I know sometimes we say it is okay, and honestly, it is. I mean, as believers, we are okay with people being okay. The only issue is we want to be okay too. And so that's why ultimately I have to thank a couple of people that has helped me to be okay. And one of the biggest, I would say, tools or assets I've had has been helping other people to finish their books. And so when people say, well, why do you keep publishing for other people when you have so many? Because they remind me why books are so important. And I love reading stories. Everybody I've ever published, I buy all their books. And there, I know Miss Natalie said, why are you buying the book when you can just go read it? I said, because that defeats the purpose of why I'm doing it. Because I want to support people. I want to support their ministry. I want to see their visions. I want to see their dreams come true. And even with launching businesses and stuff like that, I want to see the same thing happen. I want to see them go from where they were and where they thought nothing would happen to now seeing a baby grow. And so I got to definitely say, like even to Melvina, who's online, like with her, I've learned so much. And I know she has too, just with doing stuff that I didn't want to do. But it's when people push us out of our comfort zones that we start getting into things that honestly we could have tried earlier. And so that's one of the ways that I hope that my books help people too, is I want this book to push you in the right way. And then, of course, I have to give a special nod to KLE Publishing. KLE Publishing is the publisher of my choice. I've published all of my books under the imprint. And anyone that is ultimately looking to publish their books, you can definitely work with KLE Publishing. And then with Wait Process, which is the next one. Wait Process is my process for writing and publishing books. So if you want to learn how to do it yourself or go through a self-paced journey where you can do a lot of it and learn a lot of it, then that is my process for helping a lot of new authors save money, definitely learn the process so you can better yourself as a writer and be informed on the business. I don't think it's fair to sell somebody something and they don't know how to use it. It's like, oh, here's a great boat. I don't know how to drive. So like what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just dock it and I'll never use it. And how many of us have bought stuff we're never gonna use? And then you start hating that thing. Not because you stopped wanting to write a book or because you stopped wanting to write a boat. It's because nobody ever told you or gave you the instructions. So now it's just a debt. And that's what you see instead of what it could mean to yourself or to other people. And for my author's bio, I'm going to keep this really, really short. If you read some of my latest books, you'll see how short my bio is. It went from 3 pages down to 1. Because I realized, like, how much do you really want to read, that about somebody without reading it in what you're reading? And the more you read my content, you'll know who I am. So it's very little more that needs to be said. So my bio basically can be summed up with Crystal is a author. Right now, she has published 35 books on her road to 50. And I have published in nearly 12 genres. I have sold books in at least 8 countries. And I'm still looking to sell in more countries and do more books. I mean, my goal ultimately is to get to 50 books. And this is one of the few that I have left to get to 50. So I told myself I wasn't going to do this party until I got to 50. And then when Alicia and Miss Monica came and we saw the cover, I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to do this early. We got to announce this one. And so that's what I decided to do. I wanted to essentially go into giving you the information that you can have to know how to ultimately do this. And Miss Paula, I love you too, girl. I see you. And then we get to the heart of the mission for this book. Now, with this book, y'all know I'm all about. So, how many of y'all have gotten certifications and stuff, and you're like, I got it, but I don't really want to use it? Anybody else have that problem? Or, you got ordained, but you're not using it either? And that was my problem. So I got certified as an international transformational coach, and I didn't really have a lot of time to coach per se, not one to one. And then for it to make economic sense for people, it didn't make sense for them either. So I said, well, what if I started actually coaching through my books? And that way, if you cannot, reserve the time, because honestly, I don't have a whole lot of it, for coaching, but I don't want to not be operating in a gift, right? The Father says he gives some people 2 and 5 and 10 talents. Well, how are you going to use 10 talents when you got the same 24 hours as that person? And so the way that they do that, or the way we do that, is ultimately we have to start you finding ways to monetize and ultimately maximize our efforts and our talents so they extend beyond what we can do in an hour. Because ultimately, anyone's going to burn out if they're constantly pumping out information and content and you're not getting anything in return or very little. And so that was one of the things I wanted to change with this book. Is in this book, I thought this book was going to be short. I was like, Lord, this is going to be short and sweet. I'm going to be in and out. Have y'all ever said y'all was going to do that too? Like, you're going to go into Kroger or Walmart. I'm going to go in here, y'all. I'm going to get my little cute little basket. And, I'm going to come on here, grab 3 things and walk my happy butt out the store. How many of y'all had to go ahead and whip on around again and go get a cart? Because you like, okay, this is what we're doing today. We're going to go spend $100, $300 at Walmart or Kroger. We boycotting. I don't know what we're doing at Walmart right now, but if you own that, you know what I'm saying? You probably ain't spending no money there. I do have people I love and dear that I like my friend. They are my friends, almost my brother, and they still got to work there. So I'm not here to, tell people what they should and shouldn't do. But I will say, you want to go and make moves that you can feel like I did what I knew I should do. And it's when we have confidence that we operate at our best self. When we lack our confidence, we start trying to find it in things that will never bring us the confidence. And even though we might have the weave that make us feel cute, it wears off. You know what I'm saying? It's like an aspirin. If you really got a headache, you're probably dehydrated. But if you're trying to get an aspirin to get you to do something, hey, Melvina Boo, if you're trying to get this aspirin to save your life when you really need to go check out why you're getting habitual headaches, then you're going to say, like, this stuff don't work. And I would say the same thing is true about the Father. How many of us go to him and say, you know what, Lord, I've been praying and you don't work. And he's like, what you mean? I mean, I've been working. I got a Bible to prove I work. And you're like, yeah, it worked for all of them, but it's not working for me. And when you find that something isn't working for you, then that's when I would suggest you go on a soul search. You say, okay, Lord, well, if it's not me, well, clearly it's me because it ain't you, because we know he's perfect. He says his ways are greater than our ways, that he knows all things. And so he knows why you are not working. But the question is, are we listening to what he's telling us or already told us? And now he's waiting on you. And I know a lot of people say, well, I'm waiting on God. Really? When people tell me that, I'm real curious. I'm like, really? So he told you to stay right here, like, and don't study, don't read, don't write on your, what I'm saying, your 30-minute break. Like, just, okay, we're going to try that out. Let's see where you're at in 30 days. Because, everybody pulls out a 30 or 40-day fast, 21 days, like Miss Natalie has. If you are doing the work in 21 days, you can formulate what? A new habit. Not only a new habit, you can formulate a whole new mindset. And for many of us, our biggest problem is not what we have and don't have. It's how we feel and how we accept or embrace who we are and what we realize we don't have or we have not tapped into. And then we ask the question, what took it from us? Because when we were created, we were designed to have a purpose, to live on purpose, to be with a purpose, to serve, to be a vessel. Whether we choose to be of honor or dishonor or common use is ultimately our choice. But the question becomes, what is blocking even the believer from functioning when they are a chosen vessel? What stops us from launching businesses that is profitable or is making sense? What stops us from writing our books or staying up at night or making the phone calls that stop us from making the sale? Sometimes we say, well, Lord, I can't sell. That's not me. I tell this to Melvin all the time. I'm like, girl, I'm not no marketer. How many of y'all know marketing is not as complicated as we think? But our biggest disadvantage is we'll say, well, it didn't work before. And a lot of things that didn't work for us before, we see it as a landmine and we don't go around it no more. We're like, oh, I'm not doing that. Nope, I don't want to talk to you. Nope, I'm not doing that ever again. And we end up basically voiding out where we could be or maybe where we want to be. And so then the question becomes, what are the reasons why this is happening to me, to us as a body, to believers, to even mature believers? Because it's not just new Christians really experiencing this. It's a lot of us who are believers. We know who God is. We talk to him. We pray. We are consistent. But for some reason, there are things that are disconnecting. And so ultimately, I wanted to introduce you to this book. And I want to give you a snapshot of the book. The best way to get a snapshot is to read the back of a book, right? So I'm going to just go through the back of the book. And I know you don't want to read. Who's a good reader? I know some of y'all are good readers. Oh my goodness, we got.
I am.
You a good reader, Jacob?
Yeah.
All right, Jacob, I trust you. Come here, Jacob. I'm gonna have you read this. Jacob is gonna save my voice just a little bit more. So, y'all know I was up until 4:30. I went to bed for 2 hours, got up at 6:30, and been rolling ever since. So I'm like, Lord, really, the devil is a liar because I'm gonna do this presentation today. Okay, you know how you've been working on something all this time, and that's when your car break down. That's when they want to get a flat. That's when somebody want to pull in front of you, and you trying to keep your salvation. You like, really, really, you gonna try me today? Of all of the days, you gonna pick the day where I know I need to live right. So I'm gonna live right, okay? And I'm gonna hand this over to you, Jacob. I want you to come over here because they ain't gonna be. We can see you, and we are enjoying. All right, okay. I'm gonna just make you real quick if that's okay. All right, my brother, go ahead. You go ahead and read that for us.
All right. How many of us are guilty of being outwardly adorned but inward torn and in bondage? We fear our own shadow and question anything good, thinking it would be tamed for the bad.
Mm.
That's deep.
I love him. He's already expecting the word.
Although we desire things, circumstances, people, dreams, hopes, and the power to change them, we are bound by fierce force we cannot cease.
Mhm.
We are stuck, afraid, and feel we have nowhere to turn. We don't know that the spirit of robbery, injustice, unfaithfulness, betrayal, jealousy, and anger are stealing the things we hope for. We was just talking about that in book club.
That's right. That's right.
If you are tired of living your life in pain, are you tired of sleepless nights and the inner guilt of questioning those you want to love? If you struggle with forgiveness and being open to the hand and love of God, get this book. Y'all about to get it. Get this book and journey. I challenge you to tarry for a little while for your breakthrough. Although the darkness comes and lasts, it lasts but a moment before the sun comes in the morning.
Mhm.
Walk in the power of love to overcome any spiritual attack. There is no greater weapon than love to overcome the 6 spiritual powers that plagues believers.
Mhm.
That's deep.
You did good.
No, this
No,
deep
Jacob
though.
just done did my
That's
job,
deep,
y'all.
though.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all give around here, Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. All right, so Jacob just gave us the snapshot. So that's what I'm going to speak about in a nutshell. And Ebony, you can make sure you time me. You can give me a time. I want to make sure I keep everybody on time. And we're going to go into what time is it? 7:31. Okay, perfect. We doing good. We doing good. All right. So if you had this book, you're gonna go to page 27. Wait a minute, am I going to 27? Let me see where I want to put this at. Okay, so this is the chapter of robbery. This is the first, essentially the first area in which we may find ourselves battling or dealing with spiritual issues, turmoil, and disappointment. So I want to give you a highlight from this book, okay? Because you're probably like, okay, Crystal, you done read the back, you done read the side, you done talked about where I got it from and why I wrote the book. Where is the book? As they say in Arby, show me the meats. So I'm going to give you the meat. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start on page 24, the second paragraph on that page, it says, when those we love are gone, it can leave a deep hole in our hearts that is not easily filled. If we try to fill it with drinks, relationships, sex, food, or sleep, nothing will fill this gap in our hearts. We must allow the presence of Yah to come in and restore us. He says in John 10:10, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. And I came that they may have life and have it more abundantly. I know for some of us, when someone or something dies in our lives, maybe a job ends, or a person that we just knew was going to make it to what we wanted them to see. Some of us, we really wanted our grandmother to make it to our graduation because she put so much into us, and we find that she is not there. And Kato, you can go to the next slide, baby. It says robbery. and we find that she is not there. And when we find that she is not there or he is not there, people that we know we need, then we know that we are going to what? We're going to have to find a way to know how to release what we are holding on to. Because we cannot ultimately keep someone on earth that's already transcended. We cannot make somebody stay that have decided to leave. And when that happens, we can feel robbed that we don't have the life that we were thinking of or that we had envisioned. And sometimes this is enough to make people start to feel, I would say, not, I would say angry, right? When we start feeling like, Lord, this isn't working, or what I tried to do didn't work, we can get upset. And so the question becomes, how do you ultimately work through the feeling of being robbed? Right? And sometimes that robbery is not just someone passing on or whatever, it's life circumstances changing. When you're like, okay, yeah, I'm excited to be married. And yeah, this is great. This is great. This is great. But then you realize that person may not be emotionally available for you. And you really can't go to too many other places because you got to be home. So when you used to be able to have someone to lean on and someone to build with, if you no longer feel like you have that person or someone to meet those needs, then it can make you feel like you lost something by getting married. And that's why a lot of people feel like marriage is a ball and chain in the negative sense, because they see more of what looks like robbery than gain. A lot of people that are debating on if they want to be saved, they look at salvation as robbery. Oh, I ain't gonna have no fun. Girl, you done gave up everything that's gonna be fun. You're gonna be boring. I hear people tell me all the time, Crystal, you're just so boring. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I call it calm. So for some people, your calmness, your peace is boring. But for you, it's peace of mind, it's uplifting, it's light. And other people may not be okay that you're light. So then they try to rob your happiness. No, give me your happiness. You shouldn't be happy. Trump is president. Be mad. I can't change that. I can't change that. So when people are trying to rob you of your peace or of your joy and things like that, then that's when you have to have a response to that. So you're not out here losing when you really should be gaining and winning. And then one of the next essentially areas that I find that a lot of people struggle going into politics is injustice. And I agree with you too, Melvina. I see you. You said, I have released the pain over here and it's done. And you know what's interesting is there is a way to bury what we feel we're over because it's too hard to process. And sometimes we don't know where to go. You know, if you can't change the past, why do you keep bringing it up, right? If you cannot change what other people have done and you don't want to repeat what has happened in the past, how do you overcome it? How do you get over the fact that you should have won a court battle that you lost? How do you get over that in your divorce you should have got more but you got less? You should have left with a house, but you left with baggage, bondage, and you left broke. You're like, wait a minute, I came in this with 10,000. I'm leaving with negative $2,000. What happened? I thought this was supposed to be different. And so when we are dealing with injustice, we quickly feel like we've been robbed, and we can easily see how injustice and robbery tend to go together. And this is where, you know, you read in the Bible where it says this person has a legion. This person has a legion, meaning they have all of these spirits commingling with each other. These 6 areas is how people can have legion, and this is why, even as believers, you can choke out what you should have and what you could have, because right now you're dealing with different spirits, and you may not even know all their names. But you know, like you feel robbed. You know that you feel sad. You know that you have this disconnect, but you don't know where to source the pain to. All you know is you don't feel right. And sometimes that's the best we can do is say we don't feel right so that we can go and investigate what is making us feel these ways. One of the the way that I started this chapter is no one likes being played. Who in here like being played? Who in here like somebody taking you for the okie doke, as people say, right? Nobody does. We all have a strong dislike for when someone is trying to get over on us. Even if we allow it, we are not happy about it. How many of us feel like that's just my mama? That's just what she do. Or that's just what my children do. Or that's just what this person does. And you get used to this injustice. You get used to people telling you, be quiet, be quiet. You know, as a teenager or as a child, sometimes people don't hear you or see you because they say, stay in a child's place, or this ain't your battle, this ain't for you. And in those moments, we are conditioning ourselves to be okay with being silenced. So then when we get older and we got to go in front of people and we got to do presentations, we're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk to nobody. That ain't how I was raised. Nobody told me my voice mattered. So now you want me to go out and speak my voice when I don't even like the way I sound. Lord, I don't even like it. I don't want to be on a microphone. But what got you to the point where you loathe your voice? And really, what is the point where you lost your confidence in your voice? Something has happened that created the disconnect. They don't arrive without a triggered action or response. And so even when we allow it, we are not happy about it. And it doesn't mean we don't see it, because often we do. A lot of people say, oh, y'all don't see what's going on. Yeah, we do. But a lot of us feel helpless to change it. So it's easier to try and overlook it. A lot of people who feel some kind of way about politics, a lot of them overlook it because to try and address it is so big, they don't know how to fix it. A lot of people with relationships, especially in melanated communities, we don't know how to fix the relationship between the man and the woman, so we just say they different. But the Father says that I made them in my likeness, in our likeness. So that means we're not that different. And if we really dig down deep enough, we complete each other because we were born out of the same essence. So if we feel like we're supposed to be interconnected, but right now we're disconnected, then the question becomes, how do we get interdependence back again? And not feel like one person has to be completely railroaded for the other person to be seen, right? And that's what injustice will create in us. There's a whole lot more in that chapter, y'all. That's just the first paragraph. I didn't even finish it because I know I want to keep going so I can show you how these things work together. Okay. Unfaithful. You can go to unfaithful girl. All right, now this right here. I know when I saw this, everybody was like, oh, he was a cheater. She was a cheater. Get him, Crystal, get him. But but I gotta tell y'all, that ain't what this chapter is even about. I know, ain't that crazy? You got a chapter called Unfaithful, and it's not about, no, it's not. This chapter is actually about liars. This is plural with an S. And the king of lies, the father of lies, and how lies is really how there is a seed of confusion or a seed of discord amongst marriages and families, is there is some kind of lie that is at work. And whether it's a lie in your heart, a lie believed in your mind, or a lie you write down that you submit in your life that makes you make some of the worst decisions you really honestly can make. When Adam and Eve decided to eat from the garden, the devil convinced them to believe a lie over the truth. And when they believed that lie over the truth, they exchanged their power and they gave power to a lie. You see, a lie needs your power. You are the one that has power. If you know anything about economics, you know that the only people that have power are the people with money. But you'll say, but I don't got a lot of money. Wrong. You are the money. If you are not you are there. If you don't know what you represent or how you are valued, then you will allow yourself to be used as a commodity instead of understanding that a bank has nothing without you putting money in the bank. So if you don't have no money in the bank, you can't loan no money out to nobody else. So they need you more than you think they do. Although they lie and tell you we need them. But they're exchanging zeros. You're exchanging your essence. You're giving up your life, your time, your money, your resources, your education. You're the one giving out more than them. If they have a loss, they write it off. It disappears. If you have a loss, your family could lose. You could lose your house. You lose real assets that you need to survive. And so unfaithful is really going into the liars can be people who brag about things they do not have. These are people that are on Instagram, TikTok, social media, and they are so quick to tell you why your life sucks. Your life sucks. Your life sucks. Oh, you're married. Your life sucks. Oh, you're single. You're not single like me. Oh, you have a little money. Yeah, that's a little money. You don't got big money. But I just saw $1 million houses slide in Malibu. But you're better than other people whose houses are still standing. And so there is a way that the Father balances scales so that we understand the value of ourselves juxtaposed to what other people will tell you about yourself. And these are the lies. These people go out of their way to create stories that will have the listener fall in love with their fantasy. A lot of people are selling you a fantasy, and that fantasy ain't even real. They here to tell you why your marriage is not working or why your life is not good, but these people are not married. They don't have no successful business. As they say, they don't have no heaven or hell to put you in, but they're going to put you in one. How? You don't have that, but they make you feel like you do. So they make you become unfaithful to yourself because you're no longer faithful to the confident you were born to be. You're now believing this pseudo self, this straw man they created you to be. So now you're stuck over here, and now other people that love you are trying to get you back over here. And you're like, but no, 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 this is real. And they're like, no, 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 this is real. This is who you were born to be. And so to to reimagine yourself, sometimes it really hurts to see how neglectful you've been to yourself. And you're like, oh my gosh, Lord, I look terrible. Look at how I look that bad. They're like, yeah, that's how everybody else see you. Wait a minute, I don't look like the pictures? No, you don't. You look hurting. Have y'all ever seen people's pictures and you're like, man, they look like they're in pain? And you don't even know. And they're like, what do you mean I look good? You're like, no, babe, you look like you're ready to cry. And it's just people are not self-aware because they tell themselves what they think they need to tell themselves to survive. And it works for a season, but it don't work long enough. And now you're stuck trying to get rid of this feeling or this pain, and you got to park it somewhere. And so sometimes we'll put it on other people. We'll put it on people that honestly don't deserve it, and we'll blame them because it's easier to blame somebody or put it on your mama, put it on your husband, put it on your wife, put it on your boss. But the real truth is you don't believe in yourself. You don't see yourself as valuable. So you are the most unfaithful person in your life. Is you. It starts with you. And how you treat yourself and allow other people to treat you is you. If you say, look, I ain't tolerating that, what they gonna do? Move or get with the program? Melvina said some of the wildest things, but I love how, matter of fact, she can be with the sensible things. Because sometimes we get so high and theoretical debates and all this stuff. I love these people that want to be deep and woke and all this stuff, but these are the same people that don't pay their bills. But you deep. You so deep, you broke. You so deep, you sinking, and nobody can bring you to reality. We've heard, you're so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. I question if you're heavenly minded because you got to know that you got to still live here. You got to know you still got responsibilities here. The Messiah didn't have no wife because he knew he had an assignment. Some of us have assignments that don't include family, but a lot of us do. So how can we be so focused on what we are, reading in a book and not implementing none of it? That is your greatest testimony. So you're not only unfaithful to yourself, you're unfaithful to Yah. You're unfaithful to God. He can't use you because you're not a good steward. If he gives you money, you blow it. If he gives you people, you're mean. If he gives you this, like what? So then he gives you what? Nothing. And then you say, Lord, you give me nothing. And he'll say, why did I give you nothing though? Remember when Cain was like, Lord, why ain't get what Abel get? He said, because you ain't give me what Abel gave me. Give me what Abel gave me. Give me your best, and I'm going to match your natural with my supernatural. Oh, Lord, I don't want to give you, I don't want to do that. I want to give you this dead goat because I don't need it. We want to give Father stuff we don't need. But he says, I want everything from you. He wants us to be living sacrifices. But now we want to be dead ones. We want to be clubbing ones. We want to have our own mind ones. But he says, my ways are higher. So if we're settling for our own ways, is it a wonder why we are not really seeing him work through us? Because guess what? If you are a lying person, meaning you can't get through a day without lying, I dare challenge you to say, who is the Father you were really serving? Oh, no, it's a white lie. Baby, you still a liar. Where's white liar in the Bible? You seen one of them? I know politicians that lie all the time. That's still a liar. There are people that are lying and thinking that they're still representing God. How? He says, I'm not your daddy. How many of y'all know there's children out here claiming people that ain't their daddies? My mama said I'm saved because she put my name in a Bible when I was 5. Honey, you 35. When are you going to get saved for yourself? Didn't the Bible say, make it from your own soul salvation? What are you doing? You're not going to make it because people around you are saved. So you're going to touch their anointing. Lord, I'm going to a prophetic ministry, but you're still lying. Lying is one of, and we're lying to ourselves. Like we think that don't count. Lord, I don't lie to nobody but me. That's a problem. The Bible says how you love yourself is how you can love other people. But if you don't love you because you don't know you and you don't like yourself, what that mean for everybody else? He says, what you won't do for your brothers that you do see, how you going to do for me? So everyone around you is connected to who you are and why you're here. But the key is, who are you listening to the most? Who are you faithful to? Because if you look at your unfaithfulness, you have to look at faithfulness to determine where you at, right? So then when you get out of unfaithful, I know it's the most stuff up in there. I do talk about parenting because parenting is a huge one. The people that should carry us sometimes drop us when we're younger. They drop us mentally, they drop us physically, they drop us socially, they drop us psychologically. A lot of them spiritually were dead. A lot of them were liars. So they teach their children how to be liars. Herodias was one of the most terrible mothers when it came to how she was teaching her daughter. She literally taught her daughter how to go and dance and do whatever she needed to do to get appeal from a king and then use that king to kill somebody else. So you just turned her to a liar and a murderer all in one day? She's still a baby. But we will grow up hating the baby because we're like, the baby sucks, the baby's evil. No, her mama was evil. So she learned evil. So a lot of us are saying, you're a witch, burn in hell. Where'd she come from? If her mama was a witch and her auntie is a witch, her grandma was a witch, but you're scared of witches. But you got the power. We're the ones that's supposed to be casting out spirits and casting down principalities and bringing down systems, but we're scared of the systems and the powers. So how can they come to you when you're scared like they scared? So where does the pain going to go? The Bible says, if the darkness in your eye be dark, how great is that darkness? Because your eye is the entrance to your soul. And if your soul is dark, how can he use you? Because the love he needs has to be there. And he can't just be there for the people you like. It's got to be there for the people you don't like. It's got to be there for people that never liked him. Because at one point, we were those people. We didn't like God. We might have liked him on paper, but we don't love him like, Lord, tell me what to do. Love him until we surrender to him. And that would make us love a husband we don't like, or we don't like his decisions right now, or a wife that could be maybe difficult, but maybe she's difficult because you made her difficult. But then you don't want to own none of that. You want her to forget about it so you can just move on. But it don't work like that. People's hearts don't work like that, because then she would be unfaithful to herself if she ignored it. So she's right to bring it up. The question is, are you being faithful to your marriage still, or are you still running? The same reason you ran into another woman, or if you're a woman, you ran into another man, is because there was an issue with your faithfulness to your commitment level to your marriage. You don't just become unfaithful overnight. It's a growth process you went through and a mindset that you determined you wanted to do. So then, of course, after you come out unfaithful, it's a little bit more juicy stuff up in there. I can't read a lot of it, y'all know. The book is 218 pages. Let me show you the thickness, okay? We're not playing. We got a lot of information up in here. And I had to give y'all some scriptures, to fight the devil, because you can't be out here fighting the devil with no crying. Crying works because the Father loves your cries. And he bottles all of our tears. But crying is showing the pain that you have. And it's good to release a lot of things when you cry and when we release stuff. However, if all we do is cry, then what have you gained? And the Father is all about what? Being a father to you. How can he say he's good when he hasn't made anything good yet? He's got to make it good in you. And then as it becomes good in you, then you can bring that goodness to other people, because you become what? A light bearer. And that's ultimately what we want to become. So then we get to betrayal. Now, this is the one I do talk about, romantic betrayal, because one of the deepest, forms of betrayal, of course, is, I talk about the friendship one in jealousy and sabotage, but I talk about romantic issues in this one, because betrayal in this sense is a work in progress. Like when someone decides they don't want to be with you no more, and they start building a separate life without you, that is the biggest betrayal there is. It's not just that they got drunk and slept with somebody, because first of all, you had to decide to go get drunk and go be in an environment, go get in your car, go do all this stuff to make room to be unfaithful. So that means you was unfaithful to me, or you planned to betray me a long time ago. It just didn't manifest yet. And so it makes you question yourself, like, what did I do? What am I not? And I believe that is one of the biggest hurts, is when you start introspecting, like, what's wrong with me becomes the biggest question than even what was wrong with them. And then when you look at their betrayal, even if it wasn't a physical betrayal, then you look at emotional betrayal, where we're supposed to do this together, and all of a sudden they stop talking to you, or they stop wanting to build with you, or they stop wanting to do the things that y'all said y'all was going to do together, and now you're doing them alone. That is one of the biggest betrayals when a existing marriage. You can be married, but you do nothing together. You only spend the time that you are literally in the same room together, but everything else about your lives is disconjointed. And that is what you are carrying. You want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it because they don't know how to do it. And so it's this elephant in the room, but that is still linking to a form of betraying a person's. Yes, we can betray each other's trust. We can betray each other's emotional state of being. We can ignore things. So that whole concept, ignorance is bliss. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not bliss. In fact, it hurts you. But we bury it and pretend it's not there so we can have bliss. But it don't last. Because the moment it shows up and you see the manifestation of it, that's when it breaks your heart. And so then you get to jealousy. Now, jealousy is one of the chapters that I really do like, because in this chapter, it is dealing with jealousy on a couple of different planes, right? So we can be jealous of people, we can be jealous of situations, we can be mad where we were born, we can be mad that, Lord, you could have did better. Some of us feel that God could have did better. Some of us feel like, God, you messed this up. I'm not a woman. I should have been a man. And to prove it, I'm a transfer. I'm a transfer my stuff. Some people want to be a translexual. Like, why you just don't work on you? We want to control so many things. We want to control how other people do stuff and how other people say stuff and all this stuff. And we are completely out of control ourselves, in ourselves, or the people that are doing this judgment. That's what they're doing. Oh, you know what? You don't know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. Really? Really, you do? You know what you're doing? So what am I going to look at? Your proof? Melvina says the proof is in the pudding. The Bible says, judge a spirit by the fruit it bears. So yes, we are to look at the fruit of people, but it should not drive us to what? Become envy. Y'all have heard that saying, agreeing with envy? Y'all know that most witches are jealous? Most witches are jealous people. This is like the first seed of a witch. Have you seen them? Have you watched any kind of Disney movie or anything like that? The first thing they get is jealousy. Why is he the prince? Aladdin, Jafar was mad because he couldn't be the big man. Why is this man the prince? He's not educated. He doesn't know spells like me. Why is she married to him? She's not prettier than me. Why did they get the promotion? They're not smarter than me. Why is this? Why is that? And those are not why questions so that you basically do something positive. They're usually why questions to justify your jealousy. And if you are out here trying to justify your jealousy, then you are functioning as a blind witch, which means you don't know you're a witch. Lord, I know I'm a witch. I ain't no witch. Really? Okay. Look at what Jezebel did. Jezebel was mad that a Hebrew or a godly fair man would not give her husband his land. He was like, no, I ain't giving you my land. So this lady decides, well, you don't want to give it to me. I don't feel like you deserve it. We're the kings. We're the queens. We get to tell you what to do. But they were saying that based on what they were looking at other people doing. See, in other cultures, the Europeans had a different way of ruling. Remember when the father told him, y'all want a king, so I'm going to give you Saul because I'm going to show you what you want, not what I want, because I'm going to be your king. I want to rule over you with my word. But a lot of us, we don't want this word. We want to rule like Europe. We want to rule like France. And then we find out like crazy stuff is happening behind all of these weird, secret, and crazy doors. And we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I signed up for that. And that's what the Father's been trying to tell us all along. You are worshiping other idols because you don't even know what these people are really believing. You know, jealousy is what demons have. This is what made angels fall from heaven because they were jealous of you. Why are they sons of God? What makes them joint heirs with Christ? We're angels. We can't even make another decision. We make one decision and it's final. They get to keep going backwards and make mistakes and get repentance. Why? Aren't we better than them? We got more powers. And the Father says, oh, that's cool and everything, but I chose them. And for some people, the Hebrews, they don't like that the Father chose you to be a Hebrew. They're like, why you got to use dark people? Why they got to be melanated? Why they got to have locks? Why you use Samson? Why Samson got to be strong? Why everybody else can't be strong? I don't know. The truth of the matter is, the Father don't owe any of us an explanation for why he made you the way he made you. The question becomes, why did he make you the way he made you? But see, if you ask it out of a seed of jealousy, no, Lord, I don't want to be me. I want to be that, right? That's the wrong spirit. And that's why he rejects you. But if you say, Father, who am I? That's the same question. But what's the difference? The spirit. So a lot of us are asking stuff with the spirit that don't belong to him. So he don't recognize your asking because he don't acknowledge the spirit you're using. You're trying to use a fallen angel to come back, and he says, I already judged them. I don't want them in heaven. So don't bring them back to me. That's what he told Enoch. Stop praying about these people. I don't want them. I don't want these angels. I don't want their offspring. They all going to hell. He says hell increases every day. And these fallen angels hate you even more. They're more jealous of you now than they've ever been. And that's why they don't mind killing off all humanity and using us to do it. Because they don't have the vessels, but we do. So they use these 6 strands to pull you into doing stuff that creates darkness within you. And the darkness that we harbor is how we bring hell on earth. What is the first thing the Father tells us to do? He says to do the Lord's Prayer. He says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that means you're supposed to be what? A heaven bearer. You're supposed to be bringing heaven down. But what happens if heaven is not in you and hell is in you? Aren't you a beacon of hell? He says, what a great light you are. Oh, I can see your spirit. Oh, I can see what? The light of God is on you. The light of Yah is on you. You look so amazing. But what happens when you have darkness that follows you? He says, signs, miracles, and wonders will follow my children. But what if you got lies, betrayal, bitterness, death, destruction? Whose child are you? Whose child are you? He says, my children look like me. They know my voice, and no other will they hear. Every other voice that tries to raise up against me, they will push it down. Don't mean we won't feel some kind of way. Don't mean we might not still be heartbroken or might not be going through some things. But we know that that's not right. But we may not know how to get it all back. So that's why the Father gives us what? The fruit of the Spirit. That's why he gives us the people that can usher us into new things. That's why he gives us people that we can lean on to help us to get through these things, to preach to us, to teach to us, to go to church, to be able to pray, to have intercessors, because we need each other. We are supposed to bring heaven down. Heaven isn't just God and everybody else is sitting down chilling. He gave them all assignments. We all have an assignment, and our assignment is interconnected because we are the body of Christ. We are the church. The church is in us. So if the church is darkness, what are we a church of? Is it a wonder in Revelation said you are the synagogue of Satan? Who is he talking to? People that claim to be the church. So then we get to the next one. I know, right? Y'all, this is so deep. I got good news. I got so much good news. I know right now. Right? I know. It's kind of cray. I know, girl. It's anger, honey. This one right here, this is how people end up becoming murderers, angry. And you know what makes you so angry is when you feel powerless. You see, when you feel like injustice, robbery has beat you down, betrayal has beat you down. This is the Black people's plight over so many other cultures. We feel all 6 of these. This is why your yoke is so strong. This is why people dance, skip, and do extra stuff when they get saved and delivered. It's because you're breaking off more spirits than what people can see. But you feel the difference. And so when you have been dealing with Robbery. Every time you look up, something is trying to steal from you, take what you want to have, steal your joy, steal your peace, steal your children, take your husband, take your wife, take your plans, take your dreams, make you feel like poverty is all you're going to have. And if you get something nice, you're already expecting this can go bad. So you're already doing all these preliminary things to where you don't even get to enjoy what the Father has given you. You are robbed of your joy. You are robbed of your peace. So then what do you get to next? Now you feel like, well, Lord, I've been faithful. Why do I feel like this? Lord, why is injustice still happening? Why am I still experiencing loss when I should be gaining? Lord, where is this betrayal still coming from? And why does it still have power and influence over me? And this is what makes you angry. We can be angry with God. We can be angry with ourselves when we are the reason that other people had to go through betrayal, injustice, unfaithfulness. Where do we park that? All we can do is be mad at ourselves. Lord, it was my fault. I should have called my mama more. Now my mama is gone and I can't call my mama. You can't be mad at the dead. So who you gonna be mad at? See, the enemy used her because when she was alive, you were still what? Angry. All you did was shift the spirit. It's still there. You didn't cast out the spirit. When people are coming, the Bible says, can a human take anger in their bosom and not be burned? You know, fire in your bosom. The only person that can hold fire and not be consumed is the consuming fire. And Yah is the consuming fire. So he can deal with your anger and it won't burn him. But it can burn your husband. It can burn your children. It can burn a neighbor. It can burn your dog. I know people out here abusing dogs. I hate saying this dumb dog, but that dog is what's saving you. That dog is what comes to lick you when nobody calls you. You see, we turn on the people that are what? Closest to us, because anger loves to what? Sabotage what you got going on. We can self-sabotage with jealousy, but we can do more damage when we're angry. And the more you stay angry, the more hell you are allowing to enter into your life. Because anger will allow all of these things to trigger back into your life. Because it will make you what? Repeat these things. Instead of you thinking on things that are good, that are lovely, that are kind, that are wonderful, you out here thinking about, he betrayed me. I don't want to date no more. He betrayed me. All men are the same. The devil is a liar. No, they not, huh? No, they not. But there are so many women I know that will never marry again because their heart is not emotionally ready to marry again because they're still thinking on betrayal. And what they're really trying to say, but they don't want to say because it ain't Christian, is they angry. You mad. You mad that the man you wanted things to work out with didn't work. And you're taking it out on everybody else. When are you going to let that go, though? You're not going to get what you deserve if you won't let it go. You got to release the pain from that. And when you release the pain from it, you know you healed when you can get past it. If every time somebody says something about sexual abuse and you start crying, you have not released it. If somebody shows you something that happened in your past, when the devil comes back, he's going to come back with a familiar spirit. A familiar spirit is something you used to deal with. And if you ain't got over it, it's going to come back and tempt you again. You'll say, well, Lord, if you really love me, you'll never let this happen again. No, that's not the way it works. That's not what he said. But what he said is, once I sweep your house, fill me in it. So when they come back, you raise me up and not what you used to do. But what we do sometimes, we fill it with more things that sound self-righteous, stuff that make us look and feel good. We put weave on it. We put purses on it. We put shoes on it. And we walk out saying, I feel so much better. But then when that same thing come right here, you right back on your face crying again. And you're like, Lord, I thought I was over this. I thought I dealt with this. No, purses don't deal with it. Spa treatments, I encourage them. Shay nailed it is here. She's wonderful. But I know too, if I don't do the work to cleanse my own heart, getting my feet and my toes done, they look fly. I feel great. I look great. But I know that something is what? Still wrong. And so for some of us, when we still don't see things clicking, it's because there's still something amiss. And so what is the answer to all 6 of these things? Right? Ain't that the question? Crystal, girl, you right, girl. You don't say some stuff that ping, pong, ping. Now what now? Now what now, sister? Where we going now? Because I'm scared. I'm scared. Y'all seen them with the show, The Magic School Bus, where that one little boy was always scared? You're like, man, here we go again. Why can't we just do a regular vacation? Why this lady got to go, through people's nose or or something crazy. I'm done trying to do that. I want to go. And he would look like he was ready to cry in the episode. I know some of y'all want to cry like right now because you like, Crystal, I don't see no way. I don't see this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. Right? Because right now we know the only thing to counteract darkness is light. Right? The only thing to counteract anger is love. Love. Love is what conquers all. Right? But what is love? See, a lot of us think love is lust. Love is I really like you a lot, or I really like cookies. And we can really like brownies and cupcakes and Debbie cakes, but does it love us back? Too much Debbie cakes, you gonna have a heart attack. That cream ain't even real. Them companies don't love you because they're not telling you that this stuff is cancerous. They hope you love it, but they're not really saying love in essence, it gives back to you. They're saying they want you to have what? A thirst for this that is not healthy for you. When the Father gives us love, he already shows you how good it is by first giving to you. See, a lot of people won't give to you at all. You're the one still giving, trying to what? Get love back. But that's not the example. The example is he first loves us. So when he first loves us, we got to what? Receive that first. Because if we don't receive his love, we don't know what it is. So when somebody what buys us a drink, oh, he love me, girl. I'm gonna marry this one. Really? That's all it takes? For some people, all it takes is a Prada bag. He really loved me, girl. He really loved me. He brought me, you know how much this costs? It's like $3,000, $4,000, $6,000. He really loved me, girl. Okay, sure. We're gonna see how long it lasts. Because stuff that's not done genuinely or out of sincere love, real love, fades. And what the Father says is, I am love. He says, taste me and know that I am good. How many of you are tasting the people and the situations around you and realizing it ain't good, but you still call it love? Girl, I know he punched me in my eye sometimes, but girl, trust me, it's good. It's good. No, that's not good. That's not good. And then they'll say, well, God want me here. Really? You think that's what he went on the cross for? Then you say he already took all the lashes for you. Why are you beating yourself? Why are you letting someone else beat you when he already said, I already did that? I already took all that stuff on. That's not your life. You're not supposed to be living like this. And for some of us, it's hard for us to catch love or understand it because the way we were taught it was so corrupt. And so now the Father is like, but let me show you what it is. I know people that are telling me, Crystal, you know, what do I owe you? You don't owe me nothing. No. You did this for me. Surely I owe you something. No, you don't owe me nothing. You good. We good. And for some of us, we're so used to paying for love or paying for this, paying for that, that when it comes to us freely, we question if it's genuine or if it's a bait and switch. Oh, I know they're going to come back next week and ask me for the money back. Some people do. But whatever you do out of love, you're not expecting it to come back because the Bible says what you do for those that can't pay you back is what you really have given. If I only give to people that's going to pay me back on Thursday, I'm never giving. If I only give to my own church because I know it's going to pay me back, you ain't gave nothing either. You can't just keep giving to yourself and expecting the Father to say, I gave. No, that's not giving. If you withhold your tithe, it's the same thing. You're not a giver. And that is not what love does. Love gives. That's the first step of love. And so you got to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself mercy. You have to give yourself peace. You have to allow yourself to allow the Father to push out all these things. Paul says, I put everything as dung. Everything I thought I knew, everything I wanted to be, everything I said. And when he did that, he became the lowest. He said, I am the least of the apostles, but he did the greatest work. In our weakness, that is when Yeshua, God is strong in us. As long as we realize, Lord, I can't do this without you. Lord, I don't want to do this without you. Because Lord, you know me. For some of us, we'll go back into our old habits. So if your old habit is to cuss people out, that's what you'll be doing. And that's how you know too, you need to go back and spend more time with the Father. When you start seeing the old things you used to do, the old things you used to believe, how you are now wasting your time and stuff like that, that is showing you that you need to recalibrate. You need to readjust what you're doing and put yourself back into position so the Father can love on you so you can give that same love to other people. So that's the 6 books with the bonus, because I couldn't leave y'all with the 6 disasters, right? There are nuggets on how to release pain in each chapter, but the last chapter, which is love, had to be put in here, or It's just a crazy book. Now, what I wanted to show you is I have been working on a few different things. I do have an immersive situation for those that say, Crystal, I'm going to go through this like a book club or go through it, chapter by chapter with you. I do have an immersive experience that you can do. If you're into that, you can let me know. And we can definitely step you through how to utilize this book to really transform your life. Okay. Another thing I want to show y'all guys, because I know we're about done, is I want to show you a few teasers that I have come up with. So, as you know, a book like this deserves a follow up, right? And it can't just be any kind of book. It's got to be one that brings the same fire. If not, it has to be one that brings the response to what happens if I don't release pain, right? People say release pain, but how many of us will hear it but never do it? And then we wonder, well, what happens if I don't do it? And that's what I want to bring us to next. And my next book that will actually be an answer to this book is called The Devil's Evil Plan. And so I'm gonna hold on, Kata. You got to turn it up because they won't be able to hear it in here. So we're gonna play that, and that way you can hear it and see it in here. And I'm gonna mute this phone so Kata will be able to play that and you can hear it. Can you turn it up on the main too, Kata? Where I turn it down from? You can play it when you're ready. So this is the second one. Of course, we went stiletto on the first one, and then we went high heel boots on the second one. Because as they say, you're on a highway, right? So this one right here is like on a highway to hell. Like it's all going crazy. And this one, there's a redemption all the way through. But how many of y'all know when you are on a highway going 55, 90 miles down the road, it's hard to slow down. And so sometimes all you see is the fire around your feet, but you don't feel it in your heart. You don't feel it on your mind. You don't see it on your path. But the Bible says that those that have said, Lord, Lord, he's going to say, get away from me because I never knew you. How was it he could say he never knew you, but you was doing things? Because where you was trying to do, you were implementing things out of an evil plan and not out of a love or a God-fearing plan. So there are ways that seem right to the Father or to people, excuse me. There are ways that seem right to a man, but the ending of it is death. And so this book goes into depths on that aspect of why, as believers, we must mature. Like we don't really get an option. I know someone said that their mom died and she was like 30 years angry with one of her sisters. And she ended up dying that way. And how crazy is that? Like, that's an evil plan. That's not nothing the Father would want for us. He wants us to be whole. He wants us to find our way and be, where he wants us to be. And so the only way to get there is to release our pain. If not, this is going to be the next book and the next wave you're going to go through. And if people are like, why does it feel like hell after hell after hell in my life? Why is everything so crazy? Because you're on the devil's evil plan now. You're not on the Father's plan. And so it doesn't mean bad things won't happen or challenging things don't happen for us too. But it's your attitude towards it. It's your position and your posture towards it that determines who you're serving in the midst of trouble. The next book I want to show you too is the Embrace Your Crown series. So the Embrace Your Crown series is a 3-part series where ultimately I have unpacked 3 different things that I've found in my life and that I've seen starting in my children that I was like, oh no, I pray this never happens to anybody else. And so that's what really pushed me to publish the first book. And the first one is called Embrace Your Crown, Open 7 Gates to Find and Overcome Heartbreak. Because sometimes we don't know where our heart broke. And so when we don't know where it went, then it's hard for us to be able to mend it. So we have to go back and the Father will trace every crack in your foundation and fill it. And so that's what I love about him. And that book breaks that down. The second one, we have to overcome unbelief. So there are 5 gates I talk about in that. A lot of people think they need magic to fix their life. Lord, I don't feel like cleaning my house. Lord, give me
Hey girl, what's up?
Send somebody, Sue and Luhu, to vacuum and to broom and to sweep. But the truth is, you need discipline. You need discipline to clean your house. You need to see cleanliness as a virtue or as something you value, because what you value, you do. If you value Netflix, you don't miss it. You know what I'm saying? If you value making money, you won't miss work. So you have to shift your ideas. And the last one in the collection is focus. You have to sharpen your focus, and there's 3 gates in that one. And so
I see you carrying the weight of the world like the queen you are. But hold up, let me fix that crown real quick. You're out here handling things, making it look effortless, but even the strongest need a little adjustment sometimes. And guess what? That's okay. Queens don't break, they just pause, realign, and keep slaying. Remember, you've already come so far. The doubts, the setbacks, the challenges, they didn't stop you then, and they won't stop you now. You're a force, even on the days you feel like you're barely holding it together. So, lift that chin, straighten those shoulders, and wear your crown proudly. The world isn't ready for your next move, but you are. Let's keep shining. You are. Let's keep shining.
So that's embrace your crown. And that's what it's ultimately all about. It's overcoming inadequacy or feeling like you're inadequate for sure and making things make sense. And then
I come back to you, Lord. You know I run to you, Lord. Look up to God, put my head in the sky.
This is a urban fiction novel. And in this book here, we are going to be essentially unpacking how Yah or God works in everyday life. I know sometimes we have these cookie cutter ideas where, oh, the Lord don't really deal with that, or he don't really deal with that. But this family is a mess. And he shows how he can save your whole house, no matter how far away from God they are today. He can bring them all closer.
Losses after losses, I just wonder why. People think I'm tripping like my shoes untied. If it wasn't for the music, would've gave up now.
It should be right underneath it. It'll say Grace Space also. Scroll up. Go up. Grace Space. So it's 2 sons, well, one's fallen, 2 sons, a mom and a dad, and their journey and the chaos that essentially unravels in this family that another woman has to help essentially bring Christ to. And so it goes to show you how life really can change no matter how crazy they look. All right, so we're going to move on from that. And I want to ultimately thank you, which is the last thing I want to do. I just want to thank all of you that made the time to come out, to leave your homes, to spend your gas and all this good stuff to come out. Those that have been online and have, participated with me as well, I sincerely thank you. Thank you for everybody that's been active on the chat. I will be looking at, your comments, your questions, and all that good stuff and answering you back. So I will be in touch. And lastly, if you want to order the book, I want to make sure that I'm able to show you how to do that. For those that are here, of course, I have the copies here. For those of you that are online, I want to, be able to ultimately show you how to do that. And Kata, you can scroll up to the very first one at the top, or the second one, the second or the third one, actually. Do you see it? Okay, so while she's getting that slide, ultimately on your agendas as well that are on the tables, you can scan the QR codes if you like, or I do have tap and all that good stuff. If you want to order the book now, I will of course sign them for you. And I do want to thank you guys for coming and for giving me time out of your day, because you really could be anywhere. But I'm so grateful that you guys did decide to come and stay with me as long as you have. And so what time is it? Did I do good? Oh, Lord, I'm a little over. So I thank y'all for being patient with me and allowing me to speak to you. This live will be available even after the broadcast. So you are also able to check it out online if you want to share it, like it, and all that. Feel free to do so. I appreciate you in advance. And yeah, that's all I got for now. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I do quickly want to just let you know that Crystalline Enterprises was how I got a lot of stuff done today. As far as the production, the social media side, that is definitely Crystalline Enterprises. And Crystalline Enterprises is made up of 4 departments. One is writing and publishing. Another is the business concierge, where we help people with new business services. The third is social media and production. And the fourth is training and workshops. So we kind of honestly, we help people to wrap them all the way around so that they don't feel like they're falling. right? And we want you to be an educated buyer or publisher, author, or business owner. And so we invest in all those aspects of your life. So if we can help you, Kata, can you pull up the Crystal Lee Enterprises page down to the bottom? All the way down. Yay. So that is how you can, of course, definitely check in with us. If you have RSVP, then you do have the agenda. If you want to schedule a call to reach out to us, you can. It's the QR code in the middle, and we'll talk to you then. All right. But that's all I have for you guys for tonight. Thank you for hanging, and I will see you again next time. Mhm. Thank you. How do I restart the process? Yes, Kenesha, I see you. I am going to reach out to you, and I will definitely get things rolling with you, and I will be reaching out to you personally after the stream. Okay, look. And I just want to make sure.
Good job, Mommy.
Miss Sharon, I'm so glad you came. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, Power Gift. I appreciate you for being so active and being on. Melvina, thank you. Cairo, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know there's many more on here too. Let me make sure. Jacob, thank you. Natalie,
Jacob.
Miss Alicia, Ebony, Miss Monica, Wendy. I know Yolanda was on for a bit as well. Hold on, make sure I try to get everybody in here. I did. Okay, Angel, I see you. Sherry, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you were busy too. Dr. Arlene, thank you so much for wanting to be on the live. I did see your message, but I couldn't get to you so fast. Pastor Stephen, thank you so much. Elder Staley, thank you so, so much for, ordering 2 copies of the book and just being a great support of mine. Bishop Martin, thank you so much for joining. TC, sis, I love you so much. Love to New York. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. Hold on. Let me get in there. Yvonne, thank you, gorgeous. All the way to Cali. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. I look forward to doing
Hi,
the
Miss
next book.
Elvina.
This is some of the people that are here creeping around now. Oh,
Hi, Auntie Mel.
all right, let me make sure. All right, Auntie Mel heard you. Paula, honey, I love you. So good to see you. Oh, let me make sure I didn't miss nobody. Kata, honey, I love you to pieces. Miss Beverly, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. We're gonna meet up next week. And let me see who else I have on here. I know there was many more that wanted to come, but they had last minute changes. So Brian, thank you. Sabrina, thank you. Oh my goodness, it's so many more people that I know I want to thank and say thank you. But for now, I'm gonna let y'all go because I know it's getting late. But just know that I love you guys. I appreciate you for taking time on your Thursday night to hang out with me. All right, before I go hoarse, I'm gonna stop talking. Bye bye for now, y'all.
Mommy,
Yes,
you did amazing.
thank you. I'll take that. Try to end it. You didn't end it. Angel. No, you're gonna do this. Shall we do that?